Ladies and gentlemen, hello Kenyans. The rate at which members of William Ruto's cabinet are shifting roles is very alarming, and it borders incompetence or entitlement.
Sisi katika serikali ambayo tuko tunafanya kitu kinaitwa one government approach. Haihitaji Kindiki kuwa hapa kumtransfer OCS ambayo yuko hapa. Mimi ni waziri katika serikali ya William Samoei Ruto. Nikisimama hapa ninawakilisha rais wa nchi ya Kenya. Kwa hivyo ya maneno ya OCS niko hapa na ninatoa amri. County commandant kama yuko hapa na ananisikiza, na kama hako mahali pengine habari mfikie. Waziri amesema kufikia kesho jioni OCS wa Matisi yakuwa ameondoka. Mimi wacha niwaambie watu wa Matisi, mnakubaliana OCS aende? Na naambiwa OCS yuko tu hapa yuko. Naambiwa yuko tu hapa yuko. Si amepata habari? Amenisikiza kama yuko hapa? This is not a laughing matter. Mr. OCS, if you are here, those are instructions. I will just go to report to my colleague, Professor Kindiki, the action that I have taken.
Susan Nakhumicha is the health CS, and the health CS was speaking in Kitale during the burial of a bouncer who was shot, a young man who was shot in Kitale during the protests. And of all, government, even themselves, decided to deploy one of their own to play politics of optics in that burial. But before we look at the breach of the roles, I tend to believe, if you listen to the way the CS was speaking, it has really elicited debate. And your honest assessment was it planned? Was it really something that I just came impromptu? Did she plan? Because they knew. Before, I know government has intelligence. Before cabinet secretary attended that burial, they had some background. They know very well the bouncer died and is a victim of police brutality. They know very, very well. So they know very well that the community had been protesting about some OCS or some police officer there. So it's not something new as she was making. But is it a good precedent on how cabinet members are shifting roles? This tag of one government, this one government policy, at what extent does it apply? Because it is in Kenya Kwanza that today you can wake up in energy, tomorrow you are talking trade, and on Tuesday you are talking transport, the other day you are talking health. Under one government approach, how does it work? I am taking a lot of keen interest in this because I have seen in the past Moses Kuria was sent when the discussion about GMO, to manage the discussion about GMO in public. despite the fact that the maize importation was falling under the docket of Mithika Linturi. Now, even during a day after Nation did an expose on the edible oil, Moses Kuria went out of his way and attacked the media. And after attacking the media and calling the media all sorts of names, William Ruto came out and defended him, giving it very clearly, making it very clear that it was a collective position of government under the one government policy. And so, what makes this one a bit unique? Let me explain to you something. The Ministry of Interior, number one, is kind of managed by, it's in the power sharing deal. There are roles that are done by Musalia by Rigathi Gachagua, and there are roles that are also done by Kithure Kindiki. So it's always been divided in some sort of, if you revisit the power sharing deal, it was a very powerful ministry, and that part was divided to Rigathi and Kindiki. That's why Rigathi eloped there, penetrated there during the mass action and needed to come in. And so they've also been narrating that Kindiki was performing best before the protest that has really reduced his bonga points. Now, in case of, let's just face what is going on there. Why am I finding it? Of course it is in order, because the move is quite in order, because the community was protesting about the fact that bouncer was shot during the victim. But it's very contradicting. The statement by Waziri is very contradicting on these three grounds. One, government position has been very clear, defending the police and blaming Uhuru, Raila and Azimio leaders that they incited the youth to the street to be killed by the law enforcement agencies. And in fact, the Kenya Kwanza administration took a position that the police were never wrong. William Ruto was in Mombasa saying that police were defending themselves and the Kenyans' properties. They're defending the property of the country. So in defense of the property of the country, that's why they neutralized protesters. That has been the position, and William Ruto himself has said that. So if Waziri goes there, and I'm very sure they sent her there with a purpose. If Waziri goes there and orders, reprimands a police officer, orders for relocation of some OCS, then it's confirming what has the Azimio been saying, that police are majorly to be blamed for the lives lost. If you compare the discussion about lives lost, if you compare the number of women crying in this country because of how they've lost their sons and how they've lost their husbands, and you compare that to the number of men and women who are crying on how they've lost their shops or how their shops were looted, I'm telling you, the truth be told, the best government can do to justify, and of course there is nothing like justifying death, to take a better position. Let me advise them for free. While women are walking to the mortuaries, I saw the video by Millie Gesa, and it's very heartbreaking, to maybe try to manage how women are walking to the public morgues and finding lifeless bodies of their sons and husbands, wounded, dead with bullet wounds. The same way government should also give us, document shop X, amount of money looted, what these goods, shop Y, this and that. We need to see that. And the police officers that were being told were defending themselves, we should also be shown those in hospitals. You know, government incurring losses. I think the statement is very contradicting, and government is confirming that yes, they're responsible. Number two, National Police Service is an independent body, and that is what the Constitution says. But we know that our bad manners, of our political bad manners, have institutionalized interference. And so, even under that one government policy, does it take into consideration the fact that there are some institutions that are independent, like National Police Service? Of course, I should be wrong here, because the Constitution says they are independent, but they are never independent. There is normally receiving calls from here and there. And it confirms something. If a health CS, under that one government policy, can go attend a burial and make such orders, then under that one government policy, seems everyone can give instructions on how the protests were handled. It confirms that indeed there were some instructions even outside the national police ranks, even outside the interior security. If Nakhumicha can, and the health, under that one government policy, don't you see that it is prone to abuse? Because everywhere there must be a system, and decisions that must be made with keen, really, observation. Lastly, could this be the making of a super CS? Could this be making of a super CS? Because there is sort of that entitlement, you know. She's speaking with deep connections. Let's speak the truth. I don't think not all cabinet secretaries would speak that way, even if there is that one government policy. I don't think they will speak that way. She seems to be speaking from a point of authority and entitlement. And it's a very warning shot to Kindiki that maybe that ministry is under siege by that one issue called one government policy. Thank you.